who doubt God and say that He isn't real because we can't see Him physically, my questions to you would be, are you blind or are you deaf? Because even the lame who can't walk can see and hear and declare that Jesus is Lord. It's like saying the composer in the orchestra is not real because we can't see him. Then you clearly can see the work that the pianists, violinists, harp players, and other musicians are doing. Or you can hear the sound of God, the voices of the gospel spreading His word every single day. It's one mistake to decide that you do not want to follow God. It is a completely ignorant and foolish decision to believe that God is not real. Because on that day of His return, every eye will see the true and living God, and every ear shall hear the trumpet being blown. Wake up before it's too late. Believers, don't discredit God's work. I advise you to go to the book of Daniel, chapter 4. In this story, Nebuchadnezzar, even one of the greatest kings, could not ignore the fact that God was real. He could not ignore the fact that his people were real. He could not ignore the fact that his works were not higher than the works of God. I remind you today to submit all of your plans to the Lord God Himself, because it is only with Him that these things will be able to prosper. We may try to serve God and be pleasing unto Him by doing the things that we want to do. However, it is not right. We know that we can only fulfill the plans that God has in store for us to truly please Him, to submit all of our ways, all of our plans, all of our actions unto Him. There is intention even in the unintentional. Do you believe that God has a plan for your life? Do you believe that there are things that He can see that you cannot see? Do you believe that our perspective is limited? If you believe any of those things, you must know that God's intention is far greater than we could ever imagine. The unintentional consists of things that we do not perceive to be the cause of our life, but still proceed under the plans of God. Here it is, we find ourselves debating if God is in control. When God tells us to trust Him, His ways are higher than our ways. There is intention even in the unintentional. Don't doubt God. Believers, God has the power to turn the key to proceed all of the plans for your life, if you just let Him. You have to be willing to give God the key to open the doors of your life. If you don't, they will stay locked, they will stay closed, things will stay unmoved. You have to be willing to give God authority. When we try to do things on our own, we don't have the wisdom or the foresight to see the things from God's perspective. Our perspective is limited. Once we submit our full plans to the Lord God Himself, He will turn the key of our life. Doors will start to open, miracles will overflow, curses will be broken. You will be stepping into a new horizon if you give God the key. Sometimes in life we are so easily convinced that garbage is beautiful. An example of this would be something as simple as the garbage inside of your home that needs to be thrown out. Once you throw this garbage out, you see that pesky flies on the outside will try to devour it and make it appear to be something that it is not. Something delicious, something luxurious, something that you should lust after. However, if you have perception, if you have true perception from God to see the things that you were not seeing before, then you would be able to understand that these flies are pesky animals that devour your soul. Why would garbage now be something you lust after or desire? Because you let the works of this world, the works of man, convince you otherwise. This is why it is important for us as believers to trust in God, to let Him give us vision to see the things that we were not able to see before, to give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because a lot of the times, we let the perception of this world deceive us. We see flies as luxury. We see garbage as glory. We see garbage as the riches of this world. Do not let these pesky flies convince you that garbage is good. Do you believe that God gives us the weapons we need to serve Him? He does. God is the provider of the weapon. He gives us the power to wield His weapons and destroy pesky flies. Flies are animals that devour garbage. It devours the trash that we throw in our lives and makes it seem luxurious. It makes it seem like it is something that should be lusted after. However, God is the inventor of it all. He is the creator. He is a provider. He provides you with the tools to swat flies. He provides you with the tools to discern that the things that the pesky flies are lusting after are things that you should not even concern yourself with. God gives us the power to kill lies, destroy pesky flies, destroy our enemies if we let Him in. He is the creator of the universe. Trust in God. As believers, we do not talk about how painful it is to give God your absolute last. Do you know what it truly means to give God your everything? Or are you just basing that off of the fact that you have given God some things? What happens when you have to give God everything that you have in your pocket? What happens when you have to submit your plans fully to God? What happens when you have to leave the job that you felt was a blessing, but God is leading you elsewhere? What happens when you have to pack up and leave everything that you once felt comfortable with? See, God, He brings peace in the midst of the uncomfortable. Comfort does not mean growth. Comfort means stability. It means staying inside of a season that you are supposed to already leave. God teaches us that by giving your absolute last, you submit yourself fully to Him so that He can work with everything you have inside of you. Once all of the riches and the temporary things of this world are out of your sight, God gives you the wisdom to see that you already had everything you need placed inside of you before these things. He shows you that without these things you are great, so that when you have these new things that He is about to send to your life, you are capable, and you know that even without these new things, you are still great, because you are a child of the Most High God. An example of this would be Job. In the book of Job, Job lost absolutely everything. His loved ones, his riches, his health. He fell back on the foundation of God. And Job was able to stand through the test of his faith because of that firm foundation that he rooted himself on. That foundation was the faith of God.